Hey gang, JC here, and this is the Daily Dose for Tuesday, June 7th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. We have archives at the top of the page. iCandy is a good one today. We'll get to it a little bit later on. All right, so we have a 4.2 magnitude earthquake centered in Sullivan, Missouri at about 3:10 this morning. I thought somebody pulled up next to the house, one of those cars with a deep bass and radio turned up really loud, or maybe a motorcycle or something, but I swear this house rattled for a good 20 to 30 seconds at 3:10 this morning. You know, when you're awakened out of a sound sleep, your brain sort of half processes it, and not until you get up in the morning and they start making the news announcements, you realize, oh, that's what I heard in the middle of the night. So, and they say that even though this thing was 4.2 and centered in Sullivan, that it was felt over a good chunk of the country. As a matter of fact, all my new Twitter photographs of Anthony Weiner came out blurred. So we got tornadoes, cicadas, and now earthquakes. This is by the way, on that Anthony Weiner thing, he admits now of sending those Twitter photos out. It's even more shocking. Turns out he was sending the pictures to Brett Favre. So there you go. By the way, who put this together? I think CNN. They kept track of all the celebrity tweets yesterday after the story broke. Steve Martin tweeted, "Steve Martin is really oiled and buff. Oh my God, my Twitter account was just hacked." David Spade sent out this one. "Wienergate is teaching me a few things. If a picture posted of my wiener on the web looks big, I posted it. If it's small, my account was hacked." David Spade. And Andy Richter says, "Just by luck, on the same day I found out it's bad to tweet dirty pictures, FedEx shows up with all that penis makeup I ordered." Andy Richter from Conan O'Brien Show. Normally we put this stuff at the end of the Daily Dose, the sort of this day in history and the birthdays and all that sort of stuff. But I wanted to do this one here today because there's reasons why. First of all, it was on this date in 1963 that the Rolling Stones made their very first television appearance on a British TV show called Thank Your Lucky Stars. It was the only time they ever appeared on TV wearing identical suits, white shirts and ties like the Beatles. The show's producer told the Stones manager, and this is a quote, "Get rid of the vile-looking singer with the tire-tread lips." Yesterday we did the story about the guy who turned down the Beatles at, I guess it was Decca Records. You always wonder what happened to a guy like this. You always wonder what happened to the guy who blew the call on Mick Jagger. All right, number two, on this date, 1982, Priscilla Presley opened up Graceland to the public 5 years after Elvis's death. The bathroom where Elvis died on the toilet was closed to visitors because you could just see the freak show that would have set up with people trying to take pictures and stuff. And finally, on this date, 1975, 75, mind you, Sony introduced their Betamax video cassette recorder to the public. Cost $995. Betamax ended up losing out on the home video war to VHS. You might recall that Betamax, if you were around at that time, the clarity was actually much better than VHS, but people liked the longer recording time. Betamax sort of screwed up because I think they could only do like an hour or something at a time. So even though the clarity was better, VHS won out on the war, and you know where that story ended up. And I still have hundreds of VHS tapes, which one of these days, slowly but surely, I'm converting to DVD and stuff like that. All right, could saying something negative about a famous person be the best way to land a spot in a film? Apparently so. Howard Stern just found out that he, along with Matt Damon and Bill Maher, and comments that they made about Sarah Palin, are going to be in the opening sequence of this new documentary about Sarah Palin called The Undefeated. It's a full-length feature film. It details Palin's rise, fall, and reemergence as what a lot of people think is going to be the nominee for the Republican Party for President of the United States. That film is going to launch its premiere later this month in, of all places, say it with me, Iowa. Scott Pelley's first night as the lead anchor on the CBS Evening News. You know, they brought out some of the old Walter Cronkite stuff, including the old sort of a replica of a world map that used to hang behind Walter Cronkite. And they also dusted off background music composed for the CBS Evening News in 1987, but ditched when Katie Couric took over. By the way, he waited until after the first commercial break to do the Anthony Weiner story, whereas NBC led with it. And you're gonna find that that's exactly what happens. NBC is playing to the evening news audience the same way that Jay Leno is playing to the late night TV audience. They don't care. This is whatever's popular, that's what they put on first. Whereas I think CBS, and I don't ever watch ABC, and Lord knows Fox News Channel never shows up on any TV I own. But you're going to find that that is the case more often than not. That NBC is just going with the stuff that they think the audience wants. CBS is still giving you that delicate mixture of what the audience wants and what the news department thinks they should have. That is the way it should be done. You can argue with me till you're blue in the face. I will defend that position. Okay, so are the Rams going to take a gander at Plaxico Burress? He got out of prison yesterday. He turns 34 in August, and more people I'm hearing say that the Rams just might possibly take a look at him. 14-year-old Haley Steinfeld, True Grit. If you saw that movie, you know that she's got it going on. I mean, this kid is just, there's just nothing. This kid is going to be able to do anything. Well, now, there's a lot of rumors going around that she's going to do a nude scene in Romeo and Juliet, the remake. Well, everybody just sort of take it easy, because it sounds like the British tabloids just went wild with this, because there's lots of different ways that you can shoot a sex scene. It is obviously indigenous to the story. You have to have the sex scene if you're going to tell Romeo and Juliet, but it doesn't mean you're going to see anything, and it doesn't mean that anything sinister is going on. So everybody just calm down on that. Snoop Dogg shopping a hip-hop version of American Idol. You could see that coming. Yahoo has put together a list of 10 celebrities who need to stop being famous in 2011. On the list, the Kardashians, give me a hell yeah. Lindsay Lohan, give me a hell yeah. Mel Gibson, The Situation, Justin Bieber, and Charlie Sheen. I agree with that list 100%. The economy isn't just bad, it's literally ruining people's sleep and sex drives. In a new survey, 56% of Americans say they've lost sleep over their financial situation. That's more than half, folks, 56%, for those of you not good at math. And 13% say their finances have affected their sex lives. See, that's just it. When you're having problems like that, you got to have more sex. That's the key. Sex is your vacation. That's your, people always say, oh, you go to the movies because I want to escape reality. What better way to just, have an hour or two of, you know what I mean. Here's some good news. If your piece of property overlooks the property of a woman, and I'll be more specific about that here in a minute. According to a new survey, about 20% of women, that's 1 in 5, plan to lay out in the sun topless at some point this summer to try to get rid of tan lines. And the age group most likely to do it, women 35 to 44. I love those women. The name Andrew Gold may mean nothing to you, but he died yesterday, and he was a singer back in the 1970s primarily. He did a lot of session work with James Taylor, did some arranging and some songwriting and things like that for Linda Ronstadt. I believe that at one point he was romantically linked to Linda Ronstadt. He collaborated with Art Garfunkel on I Only Have Eyes for You. Art sang it, Andrew played all the instruments. In 1977, he did a pretty good song called Lonely Boy. Right around that time, he also recorded a song called Thank You for Being a Friend, which was picked up by the Golden Girls as their theme song. I'm getting tired of hearing these stories about guys in their 50s just checking out left and right. We're coming up next week on the 3rd anniversary of Tim Russert checking out. He was only in his late 50s. Andrew Gold, 59, died of a heart attack on Friday. And I have one or two of his CDs, and the guy was extraordinarily talented. So he had a song called That's Why I Love You. Sort of a sappy 1970s love song, but something very charming about it. I always liked that song. CNN put together a list of quotes that have always been attributed to the Bible, but actually aren't there on the list. God helps those who help themselves. That was Benjamin Franklin. What's the other one here? Cleanliness is next to godliness. It was actually said by John Wesley, the founder of the Methodist Church. And what's the other one here? Oh, Satan tempted Eve to eat the forbidden apple. Satan wasn't in the Garden of Eden, predates Satan by at least 500 years. Another reason that getting stuck in traffic sucks, according to a new survey in Sweden, if your commute takes longer than 45 minutes, you're 40% more likely to get divorced. Researchers looked at data from over 2 million people between 1995 and 2005, 10-year study. And during that time, the average trip to the office increased 17% from 23 minutes to 27 minutes. And according to the newest U.S. Census Bureau figures, the average commute here is about the same, 25 minutes. Here are 3 more job-related factors that predict how likely you are to get divorced. If the husband makes less money than the wife, the woman doesn't work at all, or if you're a bartender, massage therapist, or choreographer, 3 jobs that have the highest divorce rates because of long hours and erratic schedules. By the way, the careers with the lowest divorce rates, optometrists, nuclear engineers, and financial planners. It would seem to me that the financial planners would probably be under a lot of stress these days too, because they're losing money just like their clients. All right, JC's eye candy today is just absolutely precious. Just fabulous. This is the reason why I get up in the morning and get on the internet. So on Fox News, they're doing a story about Sarah Palin's bus tour. And, you got the anchor person, and then over their shoulder, you got the picture of Sarah Palin. You'll never guess whose picture was up there, because it wasn't Sarah Palin. They're doing the story about Sarah Palin on the bus tour. They got a picture up over the anchor person's shoulder. You'll never guess whose picture it actually was. Check it out on Eye Candy right now. It's right below what you're looking at. That's it. JC's Daily Dose for Tuesday, June 7th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.